In this lesson, we will learn how to write Python code that generates two correlated datasets and for which we can fine-tune the correlation, such that you can make figures like these ones with an ever-increasing level of correlation. So let's dive into the Python code. And remember, what we're trying to do is to generate two datasets, an X dataset and a Y dataset that is derived from this X dataset in the following way. We multiply the value in X with a fixed number, and then we add some noise to it. And remember, this noise is a random number sampled from a normal distribution. So how do we do this? Well, first of all, we define our two parameters that will define this connection between X and Y. This A parameter, which will be the fixed number throughout the dataset with which we multiply each value of X, and then the noise parameter, which will be a level of noise that we give to each value of our Y dataset. And then we generate our two datasets. So X is very familiar. It's just a normal distribution, numpy.random.normal, with a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 0.7. Now we use, in this case, 500 data points. And now we want to generate our Y dataset from X. So how do we do this? Well, we take X, we multiply it with this A parameter, and then we add random noise. Now, as I said, this noise will be a single random number for each Y value in our Y dataset that we generate. Now, this number, this random number, is generated according to a normal distribution. So numpy.random.normal. The location is 0, so the average of our noise is 0, meaning sometimes we will be above 0 and sometimes we will be below 0. The standard deviation of this noise is determined by our noise parameter, which is the noise param variable in Python that we defined here and which we can also change here. And the size needs to be the same size as we generated for our X dataset. So at this point, we have two datasets, two Python arrays. An X Python array, which is just a randomly generated normal distribution, and a Y dataset, which has the same length of Python array as our X dataset, but it's generated according to our formula right here. And in just these 4 lines of Python code, we already generated our two datasets, which are correlated to one another. And because we defined these parameters up front as Python variables, when we change them, then the correlation between X and Y will also change, because the way how we generate Y will of course change depending on the values of these parameters. Now, the rest of this cell is all about making these plots that we saw in the slides, namely these ones. Now, I will not go into the details of how to make these plots visually appealing, because this I will leave for the corresponding video on the Code for Data Science YouTube channel, but I will show where our X and our Y are actually plotted. So if we scroll down to our figures, then we see that here we define our scatter plot. Now remember, if you go back to the slides, the scatter plot is basically these points on this two-dimensional plane. Each point has an X value and a Y value associated with it. And thus, to make this plot, we do scatter and we give it our X dataset and our Y dataset. And of course, this will be a scatter plot of exactly 500 data points. We give it a title, an X label, and a Y label. Then the histogram of X is generated in this line of code, which is just .histX, again 30 number of bins, and all of the layout parameters that we had before. Then the Y histogram is generated in these lines of code in a very similar fashion. And then we just plot our result. And we get the following. We see that we indeed get the plot that we had in our slides. We have our scatter point in the middle, and we have our two projected histograms for our corresponding data sets on the right and on top of it. And now we can just scroll up and see how this changes if we change our parameters. And let's look at two extreme scenarios. If we put A equal to 0, then that means in our formula that this term drops out. So we don't rely on any value of X to generate our Y. And therefore, if we drop this term, then we see indeed that Y is just equal to our noise, a normal distribution with location or mean equal to 0, and the scale or the standard deviation is our noise parameter. So let's see, if we put A equal to 0, we run this cell, then we see indeed that we get a very large blob which doesn't show any relation between x on the horizontal axis and y on the vertical axis. It's just one blob. So this is the case that x and y are completely separated or independent from one another. So if we then put a again equal to 1, but now we reduce our noise, let's say to 0.1, we run our cell, and then we see, of course, that all of our points are very near to lying on exactly one line. Now, to get them to be all on one line, we set our noise equal to 0, and then this means that this term drops out, which means that y is just equal to a, which in this case is also 1, multiplied by x. So y is equal to x. So if we indeed run this cell, then we see indeed that all of these points lie on exactly one line. So this means concretely, if you take the x component of this point, which is roughly, let's say, minus 2.1, then we will also get minus 2.1 on the y-axis. Or yet another way of expressing this relation between x and y is that we can get the exact value of y if we know the exact value of x. But remember, also vice versa, because there is no causal or directional correlation. We can get the exact value of x if we know the exact value of y. But this is, of course, a very unrealistic scenario. So let's put this noise parameter back to 0.7. And then we see that we have this lightly correlated data set. And this gives you a simulation tool with two parameters that you can play around with that gives you an intuitive and visual understanding of the correlation between two. Now, this gives you a very neat simulation tool with which you can play around with the parameters that gives you an intuitive and visual understanding of correlation between two continuous variables. Now, in the next lesson, we will learn how to quantify this correlation, meaning getting a number that is a measure for how much all of these points lie on the same line. And of course, this will bring us to the Pearson correlation coefficient. So I will see you in the next lesson.